Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock. It's time for another video. It's one of our Christmas videos, hence the Christmas shirt. And today we are going to be looking at the top 10 tricks of 2023. Now, I'm telling you right now, 2023 was an amazing year. Cannot wait to do the end of year awards in January next month because there's going to be some very interesting awards given out. But 2023 was a strong year. There was a lot of really great tricks that came out in 2023. I probably had a harder job putting this list together this year than I ever have before. Some incredible, truly incredible magic. And I've gone through so many iterations of this list. I've taken tricks out and put tricks in, and this is the list. This is where I think I'm at. I'm happy with this list right now. But again, this is only my opinion. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it 100% correct. You might have your own list. These are just the tricks. These are the tricks that I've reviewed this year that have gone either into my act or into Ryland's act, and we've started performing them, and we've carried on performing them non-stop since that point. These are really awesome routines, and I'm going to talk to you why they're so good. But without further ado, here it is, the Magic TV 2023 Trick of the Year. Okay, so in 10th position, I'm going to go for the Nemesis Deck. In 10th position, I'm going to go for the Nemesis Deck by Angelo Carbone and Penguin Magic. Now, let me explain why I'm going for this trick. I love card magic, I really do, especially really good fooling card magic. And the Nemesis Deck, it's kind of one of the strongest versions of what you're about to see that I've ever seen. I remember watching Nick do this. So I was in America, I was at Columbus, and I was filming for a bunch of projects while I was over in the States. And I was all mic'd up and ready to go. I was just waiting for the camera crew to come in. And Nick was there, and Nick sat down with me and said, hey, I'll show you a trick. I didn't even know I was being filmed. And he showed me this trick and blew my mind. I had no idea how it was done. And it uses a principle that I'm aware of. It's using a principle that I've actually played around with a lot over the last few years. And he still fooled me with it. And then when he told me how it worked, I was like, no way. Because there's certain ways that you can do what the Nemesis Deck does. And when you see the cleanliness of what happens, it doesn't normally, you can't normally do what Nick does with this deck. And I was in November, I was at the Midwest Magic Convention in Ireland. And I was over there with my family, I was over there with Ryland, and we watched Nick's lecture. And he lectured on, amongst many other things, the Nemesis Deck. And he got a standing ovation from the audience. Everybody loved it. He fooled everybody there. Nick's an incredible performer. He's an incredibly gifted performer, an incredible teacher of magic. And the Nemesis Deck is super strong. In essence, it's a coincidence trick, but it's probably the best version of the coincidence trick that I've ever seen. And normally there's some sort of miscall, isn't there? Normally when you do like a do as I do style routine and you look at a card, you're not really looking at it, you're forgetting about it, and then you're just going to name a different card later on. But with this, you write it down. The card that you look at, you're actually, you're writing it down, you've committed yourself. It's a magician fooler. The really nice thing about the Nemesis Deck is you're left with a regular, well, I say regular deck of cards, that's a lie. You're not left with a regular deck of cards, but you're left with a deck of cards that's probably the best and most versatile gimmick deck in the market. So if you want to, once you've done the Nemesis Deck, you can go into a million other routines because you're left with a deck of cards that will allow you to do that. So yeah, I mean, Nemesis Deck is great, and it's also very, very easy to do. It went straight into Ryland's act. It went straight into my act. If you're wanting a really good, strong, versatile piece of magic, then 10th on the list is the Nemesis Deck by Penguin Magic and Angelo Carbone. So in ninth place, we are going to be looking at the Grail by Mike Rose and Alakazam Magic. So I questioned whether to include the Grail on here. And the reason I question whether to include the Grail is because it obviously came out years ago. And although it came out this year, it was a re-release. But I thought, no, I'm definitely going to include it because the new content and the new ideas and the new stuff that you get in the Grail set absolutely makes it worthwhile. You know, there's a lot of people that would have put this out as a separate trick and called it a 2.0. It is an any card at any number. Now, I know there's a bit of a love-hate relationship between the Magic community and any card at any number, but this is one of the best any card at any numbers you're ever going to see. In essence, you can do it with a regular deck of cards. There is handling on here that allows you to do the any card at any number plot, or the card at any number plot, I should say, with a regular deck of cards, where you literally take a deck of cards that's been shuffled by the spectator, and eventually they're going to name any number, and you're going to deal to that number, and the card has been predetermined. The method behind this is clever, and I met Mike Rose for the first time at the Newmarket Shindig in November, and he was so nice. And he was performing close-up magic and just such a great performer as well. And, you know, in this world, in this day and age, there's a lot of tricks that come out and they disappear after a few weeks, right? It's kind of like 1 minute they're there, the next minute they're not. The best thing I can say about the Grail is that this has been a mainstay for years. Alakazam brought this out many, many years ago, and it's been in so many people's repertoire since that. Since then, it's been a constant seller, and now they've brought this new version of the Grail out, and it's opened it up to a whole new generation of magicians. If you're looking for a really amazing way to do a card at any number, and you want to do one that is not only fooling but also presentationally amazing, then look no further than the Grail by Mike Rose. You know, Pete and Mike do a fantastic job on the tutorial, and it's one of those tricks that you're going to buy it and you're not going to be disappointed. So there you go. Number 9 is another card trick. 9th best trick, in my opinion, of 2023 is the Grail by Mike Rose and Alakazam Magic. Okay, 8th position. We're now up to 8th position. And in 8, we've skipped the card tricks for a little while. In 8th position, we're going to look at Synergy by David Jonathan. Now, this is a relatively new release. This only came out a few weeks ago. Synergy by David Jonathan. What is Synergy? Well, if you saw my review show special on it, Synergy is just one of the strongest projects you will ever see. And I'll tell you how strong it is. I'll tell you something. So when David told me about this and asked me to review it, and I was like, yeah, of course I'll review it. It's a big project, like it's massive. And it came to me just before the Christmas period started, just kind of November, end of November. And I remember thinking, I'm not going to have time to look through all of this, but I've promised I'll review it. What I'll do is I'll just look at a couple of different routines. I'll just do an overview. I'll look at all of the tricks, but I'm not going to try and set every single one up on my phone. I'll pick my 2 or 3 favorite, and I'll just set those up, and I'll just watch the other videos, and then that's going to make things a lot quicker for me. And as I started watching the tutorial, I got more and more excited, and I got more and more excited. And I got to a point where I was like, no, I'm going to load every single one of these things I'm going to load every single one of these onto my my device, because they're all amazing, and they're all really good. You can do so much with this, and I plan on doing a Matt test on Synergy very soon. And I think that Matt is going to be absolutely blown away by this. I know some people don't like tech. They don't like technological magic. I totally get that. But honestly, I don't understand why people don't. Because these days, you can guarantee that everyone's going to carry around a phone with them. So why would you not want to have a phone with you? Why would you not want to have a phone with you? Or why would you not want to do something that borrows their phone or involves technology into an act? Because, you know, why is handkerchief magic so popular? Well, it's because in the 1800s, early 1900s, everyone carried a pocket square around with them. Well, now they don't, but we still do magic with handkerchiefs. But these days, more people carry around tech than anything else. So why wouldn't you want to include that? And yeah, Synergy, there's something really special about it. David Jonathan's tutorials are good at the best of time. And some of the best tricks I've ever seen have been released by David Jonathan. But this has taken it to an entirely new level. David's been pioneering this. It's not an app, it's something else. I don't want to give too much away, but he's been pioneering this concept in Magic, and a lot of people have jumped on the bandwagon. A lot of other people have actually come up with some very clever stuff as well. But I think with this release, with Synergy, he's absolutely knocked it out of the park. And do yourself a favor, if you don't do anything involving technology and you have an iPhone, treat yourself to Synergy, because I think you'll find the same as me. You'll start watching it and your mind will start racing with the possibilities. Okay, so in seventh place, I'm going to go with another David Jonathan, Nicholas Mavras' trick. In seventh place, I'm going to go with Profile, which is crazy because it was only just recently that I did a review show special on Synergy and Profile, and I'm putting them both on the top 10 list. Well, I'm putting them both on the top 10 list because they're both absolutely incredible. David Jonathan performed Profile for me over Zoom several months ago. I knew it was coming out for a while. And it's just one of those tricks that you can just focus completely on presentation. You don't have to worry about whether it's going to work or whether it's not going to work, and none of that. It's going to work. It's going to work 100% of the time. And it feels so fair. It's really truly interactive. If you haven't seen a performance of it, the idea is that you tell the audience that you're going to create you're going to profile them. You're going to ask them 4 questions, and you tell them openly right from the beginning, you're going to ask them 4 questions. And you say those 4 questions, whatever answer they give you, you're going to spell the answers and deal 1 card for each letter that you spell. And the card that they're going to end up with, that's going to help you profile them. And then you do that, and they have a completely free choice of answer. You even have one of the questions where you go, think of anything in this room, and they can literally say anything in this room. It's just really well thought out. It's really, really strong. And I don't normally like spelling tricks. I'm not normally a spelling trick kind of guy. It's not something that kind of floats my boat. But this doesn't come across like your typical spelling trick. You know those tricks where you're like, right, deal 15 cards onto this pile. Now 15 cards onto this pile. Now take the 2 piles, add them together, divide it by 6, multiply. I'm not into that sort of stuff at all. But this doesn't feel like a spelling trick. And the fact that it's customizable and you're left with a regular deck of cards and it instantly resets, I mean, forget about it. This is, by any definition of the word, incredibly strong. And I think that, I've seen a lot of people that have actually mentioned this in their top tricks of 2023, and I think for good reason, because it is incredible and just packs a real punch, and it's self-working, so it allows you to focus on presentation. And as you would expect with any David Jonathan trick, they just it's so well thought out. There's so many different routines and ideas and concepts. It's not just a one-trick pony. You can tell that David and Nicholas have really put 150,000% into thinking about everything that they can think of with this. It's why it's on the list. So there you go. Next on the list is David Jonathan and Nicholas Mavras with Profile. Okay, so next up we have Cube Buster by Henry Harrius. Cube Buster I saw at Blackpool. Henry, had them for sale at Blackpool after his lecture and on his dealer stand, and people were just fighting him to get hold of them. Like, this is good. It's gone straight into Ryland's show. It's gone straight into my show. Over the Christmas period, you're going to see, if you haven't already seen, I don't know when this is going out, but over the Christmas period, you're going to see my Show and Smoke and Mirrors, and you're going to see that I included Cube Buster in my Show and Smoke and Mirrors. It's gone straight in there. It packs small. It plays big. It's literally just a cube that you put in your box. But if you do cube magic, like Ryland does especially, so Ryland's got like, when Ryland does a show, his second half of his act is pretty much exclusively cube magic. And when you do a lot of cube magic, one of the things that you have to think about is how you can make it more impressive. You know, once you've done an instant solve and you've done a matchup, it's kind of like, well, what else can you do to make this stuff impressive? Well, one thing that you can do is introduce a 7x7. You know, you bring a 7x7 Rubik's Cube into the mix and everybody is suddenly sitting up and paying attention and going, okay, this is going to be good. I have no idea what's going to happen here, but this is going to be good. You've seen people react when they see a normal Rubik's Cube. You pull out a 7x7, my God. And then you know, Henry is another great thinker. He's one of those people that really think about everything that he does. And this is a perfect example. He's thought through exactly what the prop should do, how to set it up. It's customizable. It's almost like having a mini cube wall in your pocket. You know, it's not going to fit in your pocket, but you get the idea. It's almost like having a mini cube wall with you. It's gone, like I say, it's great for kid shows. It's great for parlor shows. It's great for cabaret shows. It's great if you're doing table magic, you're doing banquet magic, and you want something that's going to play to a big audience. This is a fantastic prop that's going to play to a big audience on that table, and everyone's going to be able to see it. And the fact that you can customize the message is just perfect. I can't give it any higher recommendation than telling you it's gone straight into my act and it's going to stay there for a very long time. And it's gone straight into Ryland's act and it's going to stay in Ryland's act for a very long time. This is killer. It's Cube Buster. You can get it directly from Henry Harrius, and if you haven't got it, have a quiet word with yourself, because this is one of the best tricks of 2023. Okay, so now we're here with fifth place. What is the fifth best trick of 2023? Well, the fifth best trick of 2023, in my opinion, is On Edge by Angelo Carbone. So what is On Edge by Angelo Carbone? Well, it's again something that's come out fairly recently. And it's, you know, I think that Angelo's my pick for Creator of the Year, in all honesty. I don't think anybody is going to touch him this year. And On Edge is especially good. So what it is basically is you have some cards and you make a card castle, a classic card castle. And then once you've made the classic card castle, you start removing cards and the whole thing continues to balance impossibly. It looks fantastic. Imagine Balance by Joshua J, but with cards and a card castle, and that's kind of where you're at. Now, he brought this out a few years ago, but it's recently just come out officially. It was very limited release before. It's now just come out with Murphy's Magic. And look, let's be honest, it's not the sort of thing that you're going to do in a restaurant gig. It's not the sort of thing that you're going to do walk around. But right time, right place, this is great. For social media, it's perfect. This has gone straight into Ryland's show. Because what Ryland plans on doing, because Ryland's show, if anybody who watches this channel, you know that Ryland is all about doing magic with the stuff that kids would use. You know, like a kid would do magic with Rubik's Cubes. A kid would do magic with Lego. A kid would dress up and pretend to be Harry Potter, that sort of thing. So this is perfect for Ryland because, you know, he can talk about how he loves making card castles. Does anybody else make card castles? You know, he's not very good at it, but then he realized he could use magic, and then just having music on in the background and setting things up in front of the audience. It's kind of almost impressive when the card castle starts getting made. But then when you get to the point that you start removing cards, oh my gosh, just forget about it. This is great. I love this. It's not for everybody, don't get me wrong. But it's another example of why Angelo Carbone, in my humble opinion, is one of the greatest living creators of all time and will go down in history as an absolute legend when it comes to creating magic. On Edge is fantastic, and I love it, and you know, you should too. It's in my opinion the fifth best trick of 2023. So yeah, Angelo Carbone, On Edge. So now we're up to fourth place, and we're looking at a TCC trick now. Now TCC have brought a lot of tricks out this year. They've brought a lot of effects out this year, and some of them are very good. The tunnel was amazing. At one point, it had made the list, but then dropped away. There's a lot of stuff that they've brought out, some incredible stuff. The only trick that's made the list this year from TCC is Xite. Now, Xite, if you don't know, is basically a wand that's a feather production. So you have this wand and it makes light appear, and then you can produce a bare-handed production of a feather. Go look at the trailer. It looks amazing. You can combine it with pro lights and you can have this really beautiful sequence where lights jump around all over the place. And Ryland saw it and immediately put it into his hack. It's more Ryland than anything. So if you know the part of what Ryland's doing with it at the moment is he's got two of them. So he's making a feather appear. Well, he's starting off by doing a sequence with pro lights, then taking the wand, putting it onto the wand, pulling it off, putting it back on again, doing all this sort of stuff, producing the feather, putting the feather to one side, producing another feather by doing a wand switch, producing another feather. But then if you know the dream system, the Sean Begonian dream system, he's then using that to float the feather, both feathers around all over the place. The versatility of Xite is just great, and the tutorial is fantastic. You get a whole bunch of different options in there. It's not just producing a light, it's not just producing a feather. You can learn how to make the feather vanish, how to turn the feather into a silk, how to turn the silk into a cane. So many different things that you can do with this. If you're a manipulator, or even if you're a kids entertainer, if you're a kids entertainer and you do this, you're going to get an incredible reaction. There's so many different ways to use this. Xite is really up there. Like I'm filming this on the Monday. I did 4 shows over the weekend, and 3 of them with Ryland. I did 5 shows, 3 of them with Ryland. I can't remember. I just can't remember. But every single show that Ryland did, because he was doing the illusion show with me, and he closed it with this Harry Potter thing, which involves the Xite, and it gets spontaneous applause when that feather appears. It's just amazing. If you're a stage magician, kids entertainer, somebody who wants to have something that plays a little bit bigger, this is absolutely a prop you should go for. It's called Xite, and it's really good. Okay, so now we're up to the top 3. Third place. What's third place? Well, third place is Leviosa by Julio Monturo, and it's just killer. It's killer. I realized the other day, actually, that I hadn't actually reviewed Leviosa. I talked about it extensively, but I never actually reviewed it. And I think I will do a review show special on it, because I want people to realize what my thoughts are on this. And both Ryland and I do this. Ryland is doing it in his stage show. I'm doing it in close-up. I've seen Nick Lacapo do it. There's a lot of people that are doing this. It is, in my opinion, the absolute best haunted deck that's ever been created. And it's simply for that moment. If you could do real magic, then you would make that pack of cards fly up into your hand. After you've done the haunted deck, you'd make that pack of cards fly up into your hand. That's what you would do. If you could do real magic, that's what you would do. The nice thing about this is it's all self-contained inside the deck. It's not like you need external hookups. There's a lot of thread. I don't do that much with thread. Ryland does a heck of a lot. I've just mentioned the dream system. He does the extreme hanky. He does the dancing cane. He does a whole bunch. He uses gravity in his clothes. Ryland's all about the thread. Me, not so much. But even I can get away with Leviosa. Absolutely fine. No problem at all. It's all self-contained. And, I saw this first at the Blackpool Magic Convention. 2023 Blackpool Magic Convention. Julio took me to one side and showed me this. Joel Miranda, who's obviously produced it on behalf of Julio Monturo, he took me to one side. They showed me this. I lost my ever-loving mind. It looked incredible, and when you learn it, it's not that hard. Yeah, there's a bit of a learning curve. It's not self-working, but it's not as difficult as you think potentially it could be. It's great. It's fantastic. It's awesome. It makes a wonderful addition to a stage show. It's called Leviosa, and it's the 3rd best trick of 2023. So now we're down to the top 2, and what's going to be in second place? Well, of course, if I'm saying that he's the creator of the year, he's going to be on this list more than once, and he is. Angelo Carbone is here in second place with the Demi deck. I have been shouting from the rooftops for the last couple of years that Demi Deck should be Trick of the Year. So, Craig, I hear people asking, why have you not put that as Trick of the Year? Well, the reason is I think there's something that slightly edged it for me, and we'll talk about that in a second. But Demi Deck still deserves all the praise and adulation it's getting. It's sold thousands of units, rightfully so. It is the sort of thing that only Angelo Carbone could come up with. If you put me in a room with all of the tools and all of the material I need to make a Demi Deck, and you told me exactly what you wanted me to do, you could come back to that room a year later and I would just be there, sitting on the floor, crying, unable to come up with a way of doing this. It takes a certain type of mind. It takes a certain type of genius to be able to do what we've done here. And the Demi Deck is wonderful. I hear people saying, well, it's a bit angly. I don't think that the angles are fine as long as you're aware of them. I have been doing this in close-up since I reviewed it. Even before I've been reviewing it, I've been doing it in close-up, and it's good. It's really good. The nice thing about it is it looks like just a card case. It looks like the sort of thing that you keep your cards in. So if you want to actually do the trick, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And it's like any trick. You do it at the right time, in the right place. If you're completely surrounded, that's not a time to do it. I was doing banquets. I was doing banquet tables Saturday night. Big tables of like 10. Long tables as well. And I was using this at the end of my card set. So I was doing multiple selection or card in the box. And I was saying, well, let me try one more thing. I'll show you an illusion. And I was putting the cards inside here and I was doing this and people were loving it. It's a little bit different. It's a bit different. And if you do an illusion show like me, being able to do this and then lead into the illusion show later on in the evening is perfect. It's different as well. It's not a pick a card trick. It's not a coin trick. It's not a mentalism trick. It's unlike anything that people have seen before. It's why it's definitely on this list. And honestly, up until a little while ago, I thought this would have been number 1. And at one point, I did have this at number 1. But it's at number 2. However, having said that, Angelo should definitely get Creator of the Year, but it's at number 2. So the question is, what is the Magic TV Trick of the Year 2023? Well, let's find out. So the Magic TV 2023 Trick of the Year is Minibook Pro by Trick Boom, Roddy McGee, and Noel Quilter. Guys, I knew about this a few months ago, and I knew it was good. I didn't think it was Demi Deck good. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was good. I thought it was going to sell bucket loads, but I didn't know it was going to be Demi Deck good. I didn't know it could beat Demi Deck. But honestly, it's beaten Demi Deck because I've gone and performed it. I've gone and worked it. And the reactions that you get are off the charts. I've loved Lit. For years, I've loved Lit. But let's be honest, who carries around matchbooks around? These days, nobody. The whole routine with Minibook Pro has been so well thought out, and then some. You've got the beautiful moment where you're producing the little mini laptop. You've got the wonderful moment where you've got the comedy and the interaction of them using the laptop. But then you've got this moment, and it feels like a Gate and Bloom moment. You know, like Gate and Bloom always has that moment where your entire understanding of the act completely changes because of this one moment. That's what happens. It's all this joke with this mini laptop, and then all of a sudden, that's the bloody card. You can give people this laptop. They can be holding it in their hand and they are completely and utterly and totally unaware. You get screams, you get insane reactions, and it's not even that hard to do. I'm telling you right now, I don't think that there has been a production company in the entire history of Magic that has had such a big impact on as their first release ever. I think that Trick Boom have literally done the magical equivalent of smashing open the barroom doors, walking in and just literally just owning the place and saying, right, okay, this is our house now, piss off. This is just incredible. Trick of the Year, no question about it as far as I'm concerned. I'm getting through so many refills, it's insane. I think I'm going to need to buy shares in Trick Boom just to be able to keep up with the amount of refills I'm getting. Minibook Pro is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. If you're an amateur, if you're a pro, if you're a semi-pro, hobbyist, whatever, you need to get this. This is just really good. It makes you feel like a real magician. It really does. If you could really do magic, it makes you feel like that person. It's great. So congratulations to Roddy. Congratulations to Noel. I cannot wait to see what's coming up in 2024, because I know that these guys have got big plans for Trick Trick Boom. And, you know, with those two together, so completely different, but coming together to do this company, I think we're going to see some awesome magic. So congratulations, Noel. Congratulations, Roddy. The 2023 Trick of the Year is Mini Book Pro by Trick Trick Boom. It's incredible. So there you go, guys. That's another video in the bag. Once again, thank you for joining me right here on Magic TV. Now, please don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, you know what you gotta do. You just gotta like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. We've had Christmas content going out all over Christmas. Even though it's Christmas, we're not letting you down. I made a promise to you 3 years ago when I started Magic TV. I'm going to be posting every single day, and I am posting every single day. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for watching this video. Congratulations to all of the people that made the list. I'm sorry for the people that didn't make the list. There were so many other names that I wish I'd put in there. I might do a follow-up list of the tricks that didn't quite make the list. I don't know. But look, if you've got a little bit of spare money laying around for Christmas and you want to do something cool, either buy one of these tricks on this list if you haven't got one, or go subscribe to The Net Tricks. That's www.thenettricks.com. It's my online streaming platform, and it is awesome. I'm biased, but it is awesome. And there's so much material on there. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. My name's Craig from Magic TV.